Good morning or good afternoon, everyone. This is Dave Newstroughton, Managing Principal at the Pivot Group. I wanted to welcome everyone to this week's Straight Talk on Social Media. It's an incredibly beautiful but cold day here in Oregon. Looking at the attendee list, we've got folks from all over the country, which is great. Now, some parts are colder than others. We got some snow yesterday. That's big news here. But I know many of you on the webinar here today are saying, I'm tired of snow, I'm ready for spring. So that's coming. March is right around the corner. Before we dive in to the content, speaking of March, I thought I'd let you know that we are having a 15-minute webinar 15 minutes after this Straight Talk on Social Media webinar is over, where we're going to talk about our March Mania online contest technology that we've built that allows you to have your own private labeled March Madness basketball tournament that you can run with your customers and with your employees. So in the 15 minutes, we're going to explain how you can use it for sales and marketing and branding, and share some research from past March Mania contests. So if you want to participate in that, again, it's only a 15-minute webinar. Starts at 11:45 today. Pacific time, and just send an email to myself, dave@askpivot.com, or to ian@askpivot.com. We'll send you that link, and you can join in that. What I'd like to do now is remind you that we love your questions, we love your comments. Please drop those into the GoToWebinar tool in the questions box if you have anything that's covered today. I'm excited about Ian's topic today. These webinars have been so great. And because of that, the sooner I get out of the way, the better. So I'm going to turn it over now to Ian Desher, our social media and digital marketing expert. Ian?
Thank you, Dave. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Straight Talk on Social Media. We're going to be talking about social media by the numbers today, some recent data on social media usage and other topics related to social media and what it means for your business. So first off, though, of course, we'll talk about the recent news in social media. First of all, Old Spice is added again in terms of their advertising campaign with the Old Spice guy, and also using social media tools to do that. What they did with this latest ad is that they announced on their Facebook page that one super fan was going to be awarded the first glimpse at the new ad and the ability to share that ad with the world if she or he so chose. And so the 16-year-old named Chris Gatewood got to be the first person to show this video to everybody. And I don't know if Chris, sold advertising for it or whatever. And all of this is built up to their new Super Bowl ad, and you can sort of see the slides for that going by here, followed by a boatload of sort of guy gift giveaways around Valentine's Day. And they had places like Men's Health and AskMen.com and Fox Sports and Rolling Stone and Maxim giving away gifts through Old Spice that were sort of, things that guys might want. And this was once again, Old Spice is using social media to do this latest ad campaign and really centering around their Facebook and Twitter pages. Another new thing to look at, you may have noticed if you've been using Facebook and if you've clicked on any pictures recently, that the way that you view photos on Facebook has changed now. What happens is that once you click on a photo from your news feed or from somebody's profile, it opens up, this is an example here, it opens up a light box like this, excuse me, where it's opening up over somebody's page as opposed to taking you off to a new page, and then you can click on the X to go away from it. I won't say to make you all jealous. I will not tell you that this is a picture from the trip to Hawaii that I was on last week. I won't tell you that. Anyway, just something to notice. And also here you can see the arrow down in the bottom left. There's also now this option to download pictures in high resolution, something that Facebook has added within the last few months. here, and we'll talk about the significance of that in just a minute. There's a new product, a browser plugin called InboxQ, and what InboxQ does is allows people and especially companies to monitor their Twitter feeds and to specifically look for questions that people are asking on the Twitter feeds, and then they can do things like create to-do lists or campaigns based on various search terms, and then respond appropriately to questions that arise. So you can see the example here where a campaign has been set up under the search term Apple, and so it's automatically finding things within this Twitter feed that are questions about Apple so that the company can then respond to the question. So this InboxQ is really valuable as a Q&A tool for companies, particularly for businesses looking to do support via Twitter. And then here, Google has recently started to include social recommendations in its search results, and this image is one that I borrowed from All Things Digital. And you can see here where the arrow is pointing down in the middle that what they're doing now is that they've added, along with the search results, a friend who has also shared this exact same link on Twitter. So right now, right now, search results in Google will start to be affected by whether or not your friends have mentioned this same thing. And in fact, Mark Fordyce, one of our principals here at Pivot, attended a search engine optimization seminar on Wednesday, and learned, at least anecdotally, that about 20% of what's driving Google search results these days has to do with whether or not companies have a social media presence and a blog. So if you have a Facebook page, a Twitter stream, and that sort of thing, then you're more likely to show up higher in Google search results. And now we also see here, with the addition of this social search, Google relying on what your friends have done also to show you which things might be most relevant to you. Last time, if you were on the webinar with me, I showed a really bad or unfortunate Groupon Super Bowl ad, and also a bad or poorly thought out Kenneth Cole tweet. Well, here's one that happened to the American Red Cross. This was an employee who thought that she was posting on her own Twitter feed and didn't realize that she was actually signed in as the Red Cross. And it's about going out to drink with a bunch of her friends. Ryan found 2 more 4-bottle packs of Dogfish Head's Midas Touch beer. When we drink, we do it right. And then she used a hashtag #GettingSlizzard. This was something that accidentally got posted on the American Red Cross. What the Red Cross did, though, was they really just totally took it in stride. They ended up tweeting on their Twitter page after this got a lot of attention, people wondering what was going on with the Red Cross. They tweeted, "We've deleted the rogue tweet, but rest assured the Red Cross is sober and we've confiscated the keys." This got a great response from the Twitter community because the Red Cross had really played it off in a wonderful way, and they hadn't done anything to punish the employee or anything like that. Really just sort of made light of it. And actually, the fans and followers of Dogfish Beer, which is mentioned in this tweet, actually started a blood donation drive because of this, and they used this hashtag #GettingSlizzard as their way to promote the blood donation drive. So it actually turned out really well for the American Red Cross. So here are some takeaways from these news items. First of all, Old Spice reruns are okay. Now, this new ad is not exactly a rerun, but in terms of the idea of getting the message out across social media, this is definitely something that Old Spice has done before. It's really more like a sequel, I guess you could call it. And what they showed is that you can still have an engaging online campaign that captures the attention of millions of people. One of the interesting things to note about this brand new ad is that it garnered more views in its first week or two than either of the previous Old Spice ads had. So they are clearly still building momentum with these ads that they're putting out. A takeaway about the new Facebook photo feature and the InboxQ website plugin. These are going to give Flickr and Quora a lot of competition. Flickr is a photo sharing site, and Quora is a popular Q&A site that I talked about a few weeks ago. And what we're seeing with this really is that the big social media companies and their third-party developers are really able to take on whatever sort of functionality they want to and to make it work, which is bad news for smaller companies or startup companies that just don't have the same sort of base that things like Facebook and Twitter do. So with this new ability to share photos and see photos in a different way on Facebook, we may see Flickr start to be in trouble. And InboxQ allowing companies to really manage their Q&A through their Twitter feed, again, maybe problematic for Quora. So just things to know in terms of what's going on with the big social media companies. With the Google introducing the social search, this continues to be something that we're seeing more and more, that recommendations from your friends start to affect how your search results are displayed. And there was actually just a report that I read this morning from ComScore that said that 28% of people use things like Twitter or YouTube to learn about a product when they are researching a product to buy, and 30% of people of consumers have said that they use social chatter to eliminate options. So they see what people are saying about products, or they ask their friends for recommendations and that sort of thing. So really, we're starting to see a change in how online shopping is done and how search is done, where the recommendations of people from within social networks is really starting to be more important. And Google introducing the social search is just one more step in that process. And with the Red Cross, that tweet that the employee accidentally put on their page, and then the way they handled it, this is really a great model of how to handle something that is not really a serious problem, but yet is something something that they just really handled it well. I mean, if you do something that's actually a big mistake or anything like that, you do need to address it. But if it's something where somebody has just said something off the cuff that either didn't make sense or was inappropriate somehow, there are ways to play that off without making it into a bigger public relations brouhaha than it needs to be. And the American Red Cross really did that well right now. I'm going to go ahead, before we move into the focus topic, I've just gotten a note saying that we're going to take a quick little break to do a GoToWebinar maintenance screen. It seems like some people's pages aren't loading the way that they're supposed to as we view the webinar. So we're going to take just a break. This should be just a few seconds, and then we'll jump right back on. Okay, and we're back, and hopefully now you can all see me and hear me just fine without any trouble. We're going to move on into the focus topic, and really what happened is that as this year, as 2011 began, a bunch of data was released about social media, about its usage, about who is using it, and also what's causing people to unlike or unfollow companies. And so I thought this was all interesting enough to take a look at and maybe talk about a little bit about what it might mean for you and for your company. So we're going to introduce a bunch of different tables and graphs here. And the first one, this is the top 10 social networking websites and forums, and I think the 10th one actually got knocked off the end there. But it's U.S. market share by sheer number of visits to these sites. And you can see that Facebook is just unbelievably out in front there. YouTube being the next one, which is, you could debate whether or not that's a social networking site or not. It is in some ways and isn't in others. MySpace and Twitter much, much lower. Just really showing how dominant Facebook is in terms of the number of people coming to visit it. And notice that A smaller social network like LinkedIn is just barely making this list. Related to this, ComScore did a study charting the leaders in terms of website traffic. And if you see here, one thing I thought was really telling about this chart is that Facebook, which is the top line, and then MySpace, which is the second line down, those lines are moving almost exactly away from each other. You know, as one increases, as Facebook increases, MySpace decreases on this chart, and that's just sort of in keeping with MySpace's decline. Another remarkable finding of this study, and this is really something to listen to, is that 3 out of 10 internet sessions right now involve Facebook. So that is 3 out of 10 internet sessions worldwide involve Facebook in some way, include a visit to Facebook. That is a remarkable number that almost a third of every of anybody's visits to the internet at any time involves a trip to Facebook. And so here's the Facebook growth chart. Just in January, Facebook topped 600 million users. As you can see, it's really a steady climb in the last few years. What's happening is that they're getting about 150 million new users each year. At that rate, they're going to top 1 billion users around 2014 or so. Just a remarkable, upward trend for Facebook that doesn't show any signs of stopping at this point. And some interesting information about Facebook and Twitter. First off, what we're seeing here is the difference in terms of the number of people on, or really which age segments have the most number of users on Facebook and Twitter going from December 2009 to December 2010. So the two things to notice here are that on Facebook, the populations that have grown in terms of a percentage of users are people ages 55 and above, and people ages 2 to 17. Now, I don't know many 2-year-olds who have Facebook pages, though I'm sure they exist. But certainly that would include, obviously, the teenagers, high schoolers, and things like that who are using Facebook. So that group, as well as the group of people over 55, are gaining traction in terms of their percentage of the population, overall population on Facebook. For Twitter, the big difference I think we see here is that people in the 18 to 34 age range are now almost have a majority of users at 46.6%. That's a really big increase in terms of the number of, or in terms of the population of Twitter. You can see that it's really trending toward people who are 18 to 34. That includes obviously college-age people and that sort of thing.